In Hong Kong, 14 pro-democracy activists have been convicted on subversion charges. This is a landmark trial and the biggest national security case since Beijing imposed a controversial national security law in 2020. Laura Westbrook is outside the courthouse for us and covering the story. Laura, how do things play out in that trial today?
Well, this trial, as you mentioned, is a landmark national security trial. It involves 47 of the city's most prominent pro-democracy figures. 31, including famous faces like Joshua Wong, pled guilty to the charge of conspiracy to commit subversion. This is a very serious crime under the 2020 Beijing imposed national security law. It is punishable by up to life in prison. And in court today, 16 had maintained their innocence and 2 were acquitted. They include barrister Lawrence Law as well as Li Yusheng. Both of them were district councillors, and they are the first to be acquitted under the national security law that was imposed by Beijing. Now, the court will hear mitigation pleas next month, and the prosecution has said it intends to file an appeal of those 2 who were acquitted. Now, at court today, people gathered since early this morning to witness the ruling of this landmark national security case. It's been a long-running case. It's been ongoing for more than 3 years when those 47 were arrested in dawn raids and charged with conspiracy to commit subversion. Now, this case all stems from this unofficial primary that took place in July of 2020 to pick candidates for an election planned for that year. Now, the prosecution has said that the accused sought to gain a majority in the city's legislature and block government bills like the budget, and that its ultimate goal was to force then leader Carrie Lam to resign. And in their ruling, the 3 High Court justices, which have been handpicked by the city's leader, said that scheme would have created political instability and a constitutional crisis. This trial is being said to be a test of the city's rule of law. And among those who were observers and who came out in support was the former pro-democracy lawmaker Emily Lau.
Right now, there's not much press freedom, not much freedom of expression, and no freedom of assembly, and no freedom of demonstration. People are very frightened. We have to do something to revive the economy, to revive the city's vibrancy. And one thing we need is for the people to be free, to be safe.
Sure.
And that was Emily Lau there. And in court today, there are also observers, including diplomats from the United Kingdom, the United States, as well as the European Union. One diplomat told me that they were following this trial very, very closely.
So I'm wondering, Laura, in terms of international reaction, I know it has been strong from the EU, from human rights groups, for example. What kind of initial response to these convictions are we hearing today?
Yes, the European Union has said in a statement that it was deeply concerned about this ruling today, and that it called it politically motivated prosecution of these 47 advocates. We've also heard from Amnesty International, and it says that the national security law has been weaponized to silence dissent. But the Beijing imposed national security law was imposed by Beijing in the wake of these massive anti-government protests in 2019. Beijing and the Hong Kong government has said that it was necessary to restore order and stability in the city.
Laura, thank you. Laura Westbrook in Hong Kong.